Welcome. My name is Helen Drakely. My husband Joe and I are here to show you some magic. Our theme is there's magic in exercise and fitness. So Joe, would you come on out and join us?
Hello there. Glad you're here. Glad you're back. I have a question for you. What do you see?
Your circle.
You know, in fitness, things can change on a dime. You ever notice some people are really kind of tall? In Texas, it's got to be those cowboy boots, right? Some of us, like Helen and I, we're not so tall.
No.
Somewhere in between.
I never made it to 5 foot, 4'11 3/4.
I made it to all 5'6". Right?
Yes.
Funny thing about exercise and fitness, use this, things have a way of evening themselves out. And the size of the person doesn't matter as much as someone may think.
That's right.
It's always good to remember that. Where a person comes from.
2
3.
and 3. Because where we come from often dictates where we're heading. Gives
I'll
us
show
a
you
new
something up
brand.
close here. This is an effect that Houdini pioneered to get from this side to this side. Watch. Snap, goes right over. What if, being Houdini, he was always challenged, you put a gate there and there. Now it's not so easy. Right? Watch. Still go through. And you know, in fitness, a lot of obstacles you face. A lot. But don't let those obstacles keep you from getting where you want to go. And believe me, you have what it takes to get there. And if you like the path, beginning, it's not just half done, it's done. So Helen, why don't you come out here, say a few words, and I'm going to step back and watch your magic.
Hello, welcome. We're going to talk just a little bit about Joe's background. Joe grew up in Pennsylvania, and Joe was the smallest kid around. That's what everybody says. And he weighed all of 90 pounds going into college. He went to West Virginia University, and he went into college there, and he actually took a fitness course. And he says that he got kind of intimidated, and he went and he canceled. He dropped out of that class. So when Joe says where you begin doesn't matter, that's where Joe began himself. And so then he went and he talked fraternity brothers into taking one of the empty rooms and turning it into a gymnasium. And so that's what he did then, and he started working out, started getting buddies that didn't pick on him for his size, but that encouraged him. So then he went to West Virginia University Coliseum, and he worked out some more. Then he got his first job out of college, and he would travel, and so he would go to where else but the local YMCA to work out. He made his way to Dallas, and that's where he found a gym, and it's called the Austin Gym, and many of you are familiar with Roland Jail. And Roland Jail, you can Google him, you can find him, but Roland has been a master in fitness and teaching fitness, personal trainer, and this is what he has dedicated his life to. And he's a personal friend of ours. When we were in a near fatal car accident back in 1997, a car ran a red light and hit us at 90 miles an hour. And Roland was the one that came to our apartment and helped take me down back to the hospital to get checked out. My family, my sister, and my brother-in-law, they all came to the hospital also. But Roland helped us that day, and so we've been forever grateful for just being there when we needed him. So Roland, he's touched many people's lives here in Dallas. So Roland, we said we were going to make a shout out to you. And another person that we wanted to talk about was a gentleman named Carlos Machado. And Carlos Machado has a very fascinating background, and this is his book. And on the back, I'm going to read it real quick. Carlos Machado was born and raised in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. At the age of 4, he started his path in the martial arts, learning from his relatives the popular style known as Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. After attending law school in Rio, he decided to switch the suit for the kimono, and he began teaching the martial arts he fell in love with at such an early age. Carlos has brought four siblings there, and they came together to teach tens of thousands of people throughout the United States and throughout the world. So we met Carlos when I was getting some filtered water at Whole Foods, and there he was standing next to me checking out the water. And we met him. Carlos moved here to Dallas from Los Angeles, and he officed in Chuck Norris's studio because they were family friends. So that's Carlos. So Carlos and his wife Lindsay and their children inspire a lot of people. Carlos, I think I looked at, you have something like, 19,000 likes and 24,000 followers on just one of your pages. And what Joe said earlier, Carlos said, I'm a work in progress. And I think all of us are just a work in progress. Where we might have been at one age, we're not now at this age, or whatever, our goals change. So Carlos donated a couple t-shirts, and we're going to give those out to a couple of our viewers later on. So I'm going to put Carlos's book down right here. All right, and then we wanted to get back to this place called Busybody. Okay, there's a wonderful gentleman named Gary Glanger, and Busybody is known throughout Dallas as well. And we met his father years ago, and his son had the same gift to sell, and he also had a beautiful heart that his mother had and has. And so Gary, we got to talking to Gary. Joe has been to every place you can imagine where they manufacture equipment. That's his love. Helen, can we go check out that gym? Helen, can we go to that manufacturer? Sure, Joe, sure, Joe. So that's how we met the Glanger family. And so we talked with Gary, and we told him, he knew what we were up to with our programs. And he's, fitness is different things, right? For some folks, fitness, can be right here for the youngest child, right? Something as simple as just bouncing a blue ball. Okay, and that's going to go off the screen. So I'm going to tell you a quick story about a blue ball. My mom raised us 5 girls on her own because my father died at a very young age. And so bless my mom's heart, she was wonderful. She passed away about 1.5 years ago. She still is wonderful. But this is what we did one time, my 4 sisters. We all went to the dime store and we chipped in our money. We were going to buy Mom a gift. So what did we find but a blue ball? And we came home and we hid the blue ball behind a door. And so we had it all surprised. Mom did not know what we were doing. And so one of us said, Mom, don't go back in that room and look behind the door because that's where we hid your blue ball. So bless Mom's heart, she said as we grew older, we did start giving her nicer gifts than just a blue ball. But as children, we swam, we took swimming lessons, we played tennis, we camped. Those are all part of exercise, all part of fitness, all part of being out there. We walked, we played the neighborhood games. And so that was kind of what we did. And that love for myself, when I went off to college, I joined track team and I ran a mile and a 2 mile. I did competitive volleyball. I also did, we tubed. It was in a beautiful place called Ferris State College, and we went tubing there. And I took cross-country skiing. You had to walk for a mile to get to the golf course, and then we were there for a 2-hour class. So, fitness is different things. You can ask different folks at different ages, what did they love, what was their interest. But I'm holding here a book, and it's called Magically Fit, Journey to the Living Room Gym. And this is our living room gym. And, we don't have couch, we don't have a bunch of furniture in here. What we have is Joe's passion. His passion is fitness. I love to work out as well, but Joe loves to work out for a good amount of time, probably 6 days a week. But here's his background. Joe Drakely was so small and thin upon entering college in 1976 that he had to lift weights just to look normal. His was a battle from the opposite end of the pendulum. Combine it with his and his wife Helen's magic profession, and you have the inspiration for something really interesting. Welcome to what we've coined Magically Fit. Magically Fit. What is Magically Fit? Magically Fit is not about per se what you look like. Maybe it's about what's going on in your heart, what's going on in your circulation, what's going on in your body, and all that other good stuff, all the nutrition and all the food that goes into becoming fit. So I'm looking around to think what I've got going on here. But over here, Gary and the guys at Busybody gave us this yoga mat, to give away to somebody, because, we have friends that love yoga or they love Pilates. And so, of course, I also have here, we did this as children. I don't know how many of y'all grew up with the hula hoop. I grew up in the 60s, but of course it became popular, in the 50s. But a hula hoop, what does it just do? All it does is get us up and moving. And then here is one of these things from Gary as well. It's a polar loop, and it's just one of these activity trackers. There's all this kind of stuff here with technology that allows us to do things. Okay, here's a pedometer, and then down here is one of these beautiful, what's it called? A stability ball, those kind of things. And then also some workout gloves and this. So those things will all be given away to some of our folks out there, to you guys in the audience. So like I said, we're gonna do the shirts, the shirts from Carlos Machado, and then we did the stuff here from Busybody. And then I also wanted to, right over here, our Texas Rangers, they did send this box. Thank you, Texas Rangers. Ashley, this is, there are 30 t-shirts in that box, because they're donating one to each of the Catholic schools to be given to one of the students. And this is, yes, Globe Life Park, for those of you that are sports fans. What another great way for exercise. The football, the soccer, the baseball, the hockey, the running, the track, the swimming, the Olympics. A lot of these things we think we're going to miss in this difficult time right now. A lot of big group events, and these major organizations are trying to figure out a way to bring it to us so that we can still experience. Joe and I were going for a walk the other day, and there was a little boy, he probably was only 6 years old, and this little boy had an arm on him, and he was playing football with his dad. But we do all miss right now, and I just wanted to address for a moment that I know it's a difficult time for everybody. Economically, what's going on, emotionally, group settings, we miss seeing the people that we love. When I found that blue ball at the grocery store, I thought about my mom, right? It's Mother's Day, just in about a week and a half. So some of you all, I guess we have to plan in advance in case you can't get to see your mom in person, or a grandmother or an aunt or an uncle. But let's remember the moms out there who pitch in and do so much extra, for all of us. So that's the shirts that is going to go down there, to the diocese. And they did give Joe a baseball hat. So we're going to, play ball with this. And I'm trying to look and see if I had anything else. Yes, I wanted to mention Frank and Christine Zane. Joe, when he moved to Texas, he had a course out in California. Joe went out there twice. Another person that influenced Joe greatly, we showed you in the previous one, is Jack LaLanne. And Jack LaLanne, Journey to the Living Room Gym, it's not the journey to our gym, but it's a journey to your gym, right? To your home, to your backyard, to your basketball court. I'm looking at these pictures as I'm talking to you of Joe with his brothers, and they're playing basketball growing up, and Joe with his dad at the West Virginia Coliseum. And those moments, those childhood moments, the professional athletes, and what they're doing out there. So I'm thinking here, Joe, if I'm kind of wrapped up, let me look here. All right, the home gym, living room gym, Frank Zane. Yep, Carlos Machado. And Carlos, I had saw something here. It says, for over 40 years, the Machado brothers dedicated to the art themselves, and they're dedicated to the art of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. They teach humility and service, and it's illustrated by the motto, leave your ego at the door. Doesn't that apply to life? Right now, egos, many people are facing job losses, and oh my gosh, what a difficult thing, for us to address and open up to the fact that maybe we don't have a job, or maybe there's not an audience that you can be booked for because the audiences aren't allowed to come together. And so to set aside that who you are is not defined by what you do, but what you do does influence the world. So you know what? work with your folks, you know, be there for them. Students, we know you miss, how about the graduations? That's gonna be tough, but you know what? You're still graduating even without the ceremony. And I know that you're gonna get the cap. So Joe, I think I'm gonna switch around here. All right, I think I covered my topics, my points.
How'd she do? She did a great
Very
job.
Other than Chuck Norris and
Oh gosh, yeah.
and Carlos said, you know, I will always be a work in progress. Joe?
Yeah, that's so true. I remember when I went out to Frank Zane and Christine Zane's home in Palm Springs. Here's a gentleman who won the highest level. To me, he had the most perfect physique. Complete is the word I would say that. And you know what he said to his students? He said, you know, he goes, I hope we know some things. He was very, very humble. And he never made you feel like you were insignificant. A couple shows back, we read the story from the Velveteen Rabbit. Frank and Christine were amazing. But I want to read you something here from chapter 8, which is probably the shortest chapter I've ever written in a book. There it is. It's true, but it's got a lot of punch to it. Here's what I said at the very end.
What's it got, like 4 lines, Joe?
Yeah, well, I'm going to read just the last 2.
Okay.
Follow the beat of your own drum, though a skilled coach's instruction is invaluable. And all I can say is thank you to all the coaches that I've had in my life that really made a positive impact. And they're the reason we're able to make the gains that we've made and do the things that we do, because I'll tell you what, performing live magic shows is easy. It comes natural to us. Doing something like you've seen over the last 5 weeks, this being the 5th in the series, not so easy, not so natural. But the wisdom from those coaches, from Jack LaLanne, from Father Bernard, from Rich Cranko to Frank and Christine, all of them down the line, all comes to play. So thank you all. Hope you have a good evening as you wrap things up, and we will see you all again another time, another place, and definitely with some magic and of course some fitness. You're going to show a little of my gym? Can I talk about my
here's
here?
Jim. Joe, and Joe, what about some of your workout partners that you had over the years in college?
Oh my gosh, yeah. For my 2 roommates in my fraternity, Larry France, Steve Peake, never made fun of me. And also from there, Larry Pascal. And then from that point on, just on and on and on. Roland and Paul Cunningham. Just people that you may not know meant all the difference to me. And then it comes to the equipment. After you've been training for a while, I'll show them this here.
I know we got a little bit of light coming in from behind it. We can still see it.
The equipment matters. You know, the grip on the neural matters. The way the bar is designed, it's got to fit the individual. Over here, you'll see this poster that Ivan sent me. Ivan Lassier from Evenco. The plates and so forth. But again, thanks everybody. And Helen, I'm going to wrap up. You finish it out there.
Okay, great. And we're going to wrap up. Thank you for joining us. Some of you have been with us all 5 weeks. Some of you, this may be the first week that you join us. And we've tried to share it out there. It's kind of difficult. There's been so much going on online that we're just trying to share a smile. Behind you there is that sign that said there's value in a smile. Magic with a mission, spreading joy, hope, and laughter. And the greatest thing, I think, is joy, hope, and laughter. And that might be one of the greatest I don't know, secrets possibly, whatever we want to say, to even being healthy and being fit is our attitude and having hope. And in these times right now, we're all looking for hope. So thank you so much again to the Texas Rangers. We're going to send those down to the Catholic Diocese there. We have one for the bishop and Bishop Burns, and we have one for the superintendent of schools, Dr. Matt Varick, and then also for Michelle, who is the one that came up with this idea for this program. So thank you for joining us. God bless.
And let's play ball soon.
Let's play ball, and we'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.